Why do they look like that? What part? What do you mean? A lot of people think that Serrano's old because he's got like salt and pepper hair. It's just, that's just the way that he is. He is probably in his teens, but it's not because he's like an old man that he looks like that. That's just what he looks like. Hello. And then Jalapeno is missing a chunk of his ear, if you guys were not aware of that. It's something I talk about sometimes, but not that often. In feedlots, for the first time. Jalapeno is missing a bit of his ear. Do you want to show them your teeth? No. Okay, show them your... No. When they're in slaughter pens, or by the time they get there, sometimes they'll chop off parts of their ears as a way of identifying which donkeys go in which group. So I'm not sure which group in particular he was at the time, but it was just an identification thing that they did at the feedlot, which is super sad. No, it will not grow back. No, it was not done like under anesthesia or, you know, surgically, and no, it was not done for a medical reason. It was just for identification. So, yeah, pretty brutal. Donkeys, are you ready to rumble? Let's go get some supplies. Donkeys, who wants to go first? Maybe Serrano? Jalapeno's gonna like hang around probably while we work on Serrano, but show horse, he's over there. He's just like, sometimes equines get, well, the phrase is that they get hot in cold weather, which doesn't make sense, but it really just means like hot-headed. Like, oh God, baby cow. Baby cow incoming. I think it's just really, it's cool outside and it feels nice, and now that he's out of the pasture, he's got a bunch of space, so he just feels good, so he wants to run around. Is Acero an old man? Acero's 21. He's getting up there. The donkeys I expect to live longer than the horse. Okay, here we are. I'm gonna get some grain. So I think we're gonna start with treating legs, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. And then we'll do a little bit of a training session after that. So I'm gonna get a bunch of horse grain in a pouch. Amazing. And we're gonna do both Blue Coat and Alu Shield today. So Blue Coat is good because it's antiseptic, so it'll prevent them from getting infections. Alu Shield is great because it's a bandage. So we're gonna put the antiseptic on first, and then we're gonna put the Alu Shield on top of it. We've never done that before, but I'm hoping that the Alu Shield gives it more of like a protective layer so it lasts longer than the Blue Coat does alone. Serrano! He's just watching Acero and Winnie like freak out and run around. Serrano! Hi, Jalapeno. Jalapeno doesn't really need it on his legs. You can see he had a little bit of Blue Coat put on his leg down there before, but that's just because he cut his leg. The flies don't eat at his legs like they do Serrano's. Oh. Come here, Serrano. So, one of the challenges with working with the donkeys is that they have a very, very large enclosure. He doesn't have treats for you. He keeps stopping thinking that the cameraman has treats. Good boy. Go up here. So, it's a very clear, if the donkeys do not want to participate, they will not, right? They can just run away if they want to. So that means we have to be very careful and listen to them, you know, when it comes to their limits and what they want and don't want us to do. All the animals at Alveus, Kayla could speak way better to this than I can because I'm not an animal trainer. But I did spend 6-7 years really, really serious about, okay, he knows what's in my pouch, really serious about horse training. There's a lot to equine psychology that applies both to horses and donkeys. So I'm just gonna tell you guys a little bit about that today. There's drama. So you can see his legs right there. He gets Blue Coat on his legs every day, but every day the flies irritate him again. And so that's why we're gonna try the aloe shield and see if it helps. I swear you'll after.
Wow. GJKNK resub for 6 months. Love the streams. Thanks for always informing us. Maya he corn Maya heel.
Sure, thank you for the 6 months. So for Serrano, first we're gonna come over here, we're gonna touch. And then get to treat. So if we were to really tense up, I would reset, like restart. Touch. Good. Hug him, he's a good boy. He would hate being hugged, unfortunately. Equines are pretty naturally, touch. Good. Equines are pretty naturally claustrophobic. They don't like being in tight spaces or like squeezed. Touch. Good. I got like half of it. Good to the bottom. Touch. Good. Good job. Hello, Donk. You're doing great. Oh my gosh, so much mouth. Okay. Touch. Good. It's raining, dude. This is stupid. Okay, now this side, we might have to take a... All right. Come here, donkeys. You wanna come up here? Come here. Come on. Come here. Donkey. He's not coming. We're gonna wait this out, see what it looks like in a couple minutes. And I'll tell you a little bit more about equine training while we're in here and I'm not distracted by donkey. So, not equine, equine, E-Q-U-I-N-E. Horses, donkeys. So it goes back, I mean, I don't know at what point equine training became a thing, but it's been around a very, very long time. Like most things that have been around a very long time, it's evolved so much. Back in the day, traditional horse training, cowboys, they would literally blindfold horses, tie up their legs, hobble their legs, roll them into have them knocked over on their side, put a saddle on the ground, roll them into the saddle, strap the saddle on there, and then cowboys would jump on the horse, they'd take the blindfold off, they'd take the stuff off their legs, and then they would ride them until they stopped bucking. Right? That's the traditional, old-fashioned way of breaking a horse, right? Is if you can stay on, even though they're obviously very stressed and don't want you to be on their back, they eventually learn that they can't get you off of their back. And then they give up. And then, eventually, you put a piece of metal in their mouth, right? And then you can control them even more. Because despite these animals, a serow, for example, being 1,100 pounds, if you put a big bar of metal in his mouth, you can pull him any which way, and he's gonna go that way because it's a bar of metal in his mouth, you know? So it's a way that people learn to control horses.
The Jess underscore resubbed for 7 months.
Yeah, they did it in the Spirit movie. The Jester, thank you. Taz, thank you. So that's how it started, right? And growing up even, for the first 8 years of my experience with horses, it was just like they tell you if you guys have ever been on a trail ride, you know, if you like go on vacation, you get on a horse and you go to a beach or something. Holy shit! Oh my God! Dude, that scared me so bad.
I watched them walk up the whole time.
That's so messed up. Hello, chicken. If you go on a trail ride, they'll tell you to get on the horse, kick to go, pull to stop, pull right to go right, pull left to go left, right? It's very mechanical. And to an extent, it works, right? Obviously, horses are way stronger than us. Eventually, the horse could take off and really hurt you, but it's very mechanical. And for the first 8 years of my life with horses, that was it. And then when I was 12 or so, I started natural horsemanship, which is a whole different approach to horse training. I actually started doing Pirelli natural horsemanship, and a lot of it is a lot of it is about equine behavior and psychology. So it's learning how to work with your horse kind of as a partner. It's pretty hippy-dippy shit, to be honest. Learning how to work with your horse as a partner, as opposed to controlling your horse as best you can, using psychology to talk to your horse in a way, as opposed to pulling them around. But it was really, really cool. I did that for 6 or 7 years, and it made a huge difference with me and my horse. And a lot of it is learning how to talk to horses like they talk to each other. Right? That happens in dog training. It's like, this is what dogs would do to each other, so this is what you need to do with your dog to get them to understand blank. Horses don't speak English. They don't know what we want them to do. It's very unnatural for someone to be on a horse's back and be like, back up, right? If you're pulling back and they don't know what that means, it can be very frustrating for them, very confusing. And to us, it might seem really simple, like, go backwards, but they don't understand that, right? And it's unnatural for them to... Thank you. It's unnatural for them to think those things. So natural horsemanship is learning about horse behavior psychology, how they talk to each other, and then applying that to how you interact with your horse. So I'll talk more about that. It is lightened up a little bit, but it's still, I still don't want to be out in it. It's still too heavy. So with the donkeys at Alveus, like all the animals at Alveus, Kayla, Lindsay, Ella do a lot of positive reinforcement training. So always listening to the animal, no matter what the species is, about where their limits are and where they're uncomfortable, and rewarding them with bits, in this case, horse grain, for the behaviors that we want to see, and not punishing them for the behaviors that we don't want to see.
Time begins resubbed for 3 months. Smile.
Not punishing them, we're not whipping them, you know, we're not adding negative things when they do something that we don't want. We're just reinforcing them when they do things that we do want. And then eventually they learn that that's what we want, and then everybody's happy and everybody's on the same page. The donkeys, they don't naturally want us to touch them like a dog does, like they don't want to be pet and stuff, but they know if they let us touch them, we go touch, and then they get a reinforcer, which is something that they want. And so it's a really great way to do stuff with the donkeys in a way that's not coercive, and doesn't force them into anything or scare them into anything, so that we can do what we need to do with them, and they're not stressed and claustrophobic and coerced. Is that the new iPhone watch? That would be crazy. It'd be a really crazy thing for Apple to launch. Touch for treat. Fair trade.